I just celebrated my 41st birthday, so I thought I'd give you 41 things I wish I knew decades ago. First, if you tolerate behavior, you're teaching it. This is a big one. If you aren't saying anything, you're telling them it's okay. So you get what you tolerate. Number 2, stop expecting people to read your mind. Just say what you mean. How many times do you have a hidden expectation that somebody should behave a certain way, do something, say something, reply, respond, but you never tell them what you actually want? Just tell people what you're looking for. Give them a chance to actually meet your expectations. Number 3, the most expensive people in your lives are the ones that drain your energy. I used to think if somebody emailed me, I had to respond. If they texted me, you had to reply. I felt obligated. But then I realized sometimes it's okay to let people go. It's okay to not respond to every text, every email, every phone call. Sometimes you have to show people like you have moved on. Otherwise, the more you engage, the more they think you want to be engaged. And all of a sudden, those people are draining you and you have better things to do. People will treat you how you allow them to. If you go to dinner with somebody and they are always late, but you keep going back to dinner with them and not mentioning it, not saying anything, right? They're going to keep doing it because they think it's acceptable in your eyes. So start to put in some better boundaries, right? What will you tolerate? What will you not? What are you tolerating in your life right now that you need to say something or start to disengage with that person who's not respecting those boundaries? You're not responsible for other people's happiness. This one took me a really long time to learn. I felt like if somebody was mad or upset, it was somehow my fault. Even if I felt in alignment with my actions, if they weren't happy, I kind of carried that around with me. Let it go. Their feelings are not your responsibility. Number 6, you can love someone and still set a boundary. I think we think boundaries are this horrible thing that if we do, we're being mean or we're being rude or we're not being kind. And I've set some really good boundaries and I've had people thank me for that, saying, you know what, like, wow, I wish I need to get better at this. Like, thank you for saying no, but in that sort of way, I need to start modeling that when people ask me for something and I just don't have the time. 7, the right people don't need convincing. I used to work so hard to get certain people to agree or share the same opinion. And I realized a long time ago that the right people don't need convincing. Who are you surrounding yourself with? Are people holding you back? Are you constantly trying to have to convict someone to do XYZ, right? So I really want you to think like, who are my top 5? Who are the people that are on board, that are go-getters, that are going to say, yes, go, why not bigger, right? Give you that inspiration that you need. Number 8, if you want deeper connections, you need to go first. I used to think, oh, they're hanging out online. I just saw them on Instagram and they're all together and they didn't invite me. And I would kind of throw myself a pity party that I wasn't in that room or I wasn't in that group. And then I realized like, wait, why am I not reaching out? Why am I not inviting them to do something? Why am I not leading? Why am I not taking charge? And I started to create my own groups and gatherings and dinners and all of that. And I think sometimes it's so easy to throw ourselves that pity party versus like, wait a minute, I actually have control over some of this. Like, I don't have control of getting in a specific room, but I can create my own room, right? And I can invite whoever I want to invite. And I really leaned into that over the last few years. And sometimes it's just messaging that room and saying, hey, this looks so cool. If you ever do this again, I would love to be considered. And sometimes, not all the times, but sometimes they're like, hey, we would love to have you join us. We'll definitely tell you about next time. So don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Number 9, overgiving is not kindness. It's control in disguise. So many times we try to go above and beyond, or we try to, be in charge. And we've got that personality of we want to be in control. We want to be the boss. And sometimes we're holding on to so much control. And it's been hard, but I've had to let go more and more. And it's something I work on daily. Number 10, silence can be more powerful than defending yourself. We live in a world of cancel culture and everybody just putting the worst comments and hate in anything, right? I'll do a free training and I'm giving my time away for free, pouring into hundreds of business owners. And I'll get this one person to say something incredibly rude. The old Stacy would have to say something. I would have to defend myself. I would have to, all of it, right? And I've had to work on this person is probably not more successful than me. And the reason I say that is because people more successful than me, they don't judge me like that. They're not harsh. They're not putting me down, right? The people who maybe aren't further along than me are judging me sometimes. And I realize like giving into them, defending me is just giving them acknowledgement. So silence can be so much more powerful when you let it go. 11, fulfillment comes from alignment, not achievement. I just wanted to be bigger, better, stronger. I wanted to hit 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures, 9 figures. And I realized I was working so hard, hitting these huge milestones, crossing the 7-figure mark, crossing the 8-figure mark, and not even caring because I was like on my way to the next thing. To truly be fulfilled, it comes from like waking up every day and loving the journey, being in alignment with what you sell, to who you sell, to what you do every single day. So if you are just so focused on that end goal, a certain money amount, right? You want certain like revenue coming in or dollars in the bank, you're going to hit those numbers and you're not going to feel any different. 12, your career doesn't need to make everyone else proud, just you. I don't know how many times back in the day when I would be embarrassed to call myself like just a dance studio owner or I'm an author. Like it felt funny. Like, what are people going to think about me? And are really going to think I'm an author when I was a dance studio owner and all of these things, right? I was really caring so much about everybody else's thoughts. And today it's like, I just feel like I'm owning who I am and I'm owning my career and I'm owning my successes and my failures. And it just doesn't matter what other people think of it. If you're not happy, that's the only thing you should be focusing on. If you're always saying yes, you're probably saying no to what matters most. I was saying yes a lot because I heard be a yes person, just go after opportunities, but all opportunities are not created equal. So when you say yes to something, and this is how I had to learn the hard way, I would have my calendar filled and somebody would ask me to do something incredible, like just a opportunity of a lifetime. And I had to say no. I had to not be able to move forward because my calendar was already filled. And I had to realize very early on that every time I say yes to something, I am saying no to everything else that could possibly go on that calendar at that day and that time. So when I say yes, it's like, do I really want to do this? Am I really going to be excited about this? I remember somebody saying, don't just say yes to something like 6 weeks out or 8 weeks out because it just feels like, oh, who cares? It's later. But then you wake up today and you're like, oh, I've got all this stuff on my calendar and I don't really want to do it. They said, if somebody said to you today, I've got this opportunity, we've got to squeeze it in today, are you a yes or no? If your gut instinct is like, yes, I want to do it, put it on your calendar. If it's no, I'm like, that's not really that important to me or I'm just too busy, say no later. You'll be just as busy 6 weeks from now. So go with your gut and really start to assess, is this a yes or a no? And it better be like a yes, I can't wait, not a like, yeah, sure. Because the yeah, sure's are going to take up bigger opportunities that you're going to have to say no to in the future. 14, you don't need more time. You need better boundaries. I was just like racking my brain trying to get through to one of my clients recently. She just kept saying, I don't have the time. She said that phrase like 6 or 7 times in the matter of just minutes. And I looked at her, I said, you have as much time as I do. My calendar has bigger things on the calendar than you do. You just don't have good boundaries. And that is why you keep feeling overwhelmed. When you're like, I don't have time and I don't have money. It's like, hang on. If you don't have time, and you don't have money, that tells me your time is not being well spent. You are not saying yes to the right things because if you were, you'd be making more money. So when you don't have time and you don't have money, you've got to fix your time. You've got to fix how you're spending your time. You're not working on the right things. And if you say, yes, I am, well, why don't you have any money? Like, it just doesn't make sense. So stop making excuses. You can either make excuses or you can make money, but you can't do both. So you've got to figure it out. 15, a dream job still comes with hard days. My life is pretty great. There are days I would love to trade. There are still times like money's great. There are still times money's tight. Like we bring in over 8 figures a year. Does not mean we don't have money problems sometimes. Our credit card bills, right? I mean, we pay them off every month, but our credit card bills are $600,000 a month. Everything you're experiencing now, you're going to experience at another level as you scale. Yes, it's going to get better. I would not trade this year for 5 years ago, 10 years ago. No. Like this is the best it's ever been. But there's still some hard stuff I have to do. I have to fire people that I love and I care about and I want to continue our relationship with, but I've got to stay true to my values and I've got to stay true to the company and the rest of the team. And there's some really hard moments, even in like record-breaking years. You won't outwork burnout. You'll just arrive exhausted. I used to work 80, 100 hours a week. I was working 24/7. I would wake up super early because the 5 a.m. club, they told you had to wake up, you had to work out, you had to meditate, you had to do all this stuff. And then I had to squeeze in everything else. And then I would work until midnight or whatever it was. And at some point, it's just not sustainable. At some point, you will burn out, right? You won't hustle your way to success. At some point, you have to say, what I'm doing isn't working. How do I find a more sustainable calendar that I actually love to wake up and I'm enjoying what I'm doing versus always thinking I'll enjoy it later. You won't enjoy it later. You'll just stay on that hamster wheel. 17, perfectionism is procrastination with better branding. People think I'm a perfectionist, but I'm telling you, I just have high standards, okay? And I say this because a perfectionist in my opinion, can be slow, can be having to take 16 iterations before they can put it out there. I can look at something, proof it and say, looks good, let's move on. Like good enough, right? Perfectionism doesn't say good enough. And when you are a perfectionist, all you're doing is slowing yourself down. So get good at putting out work that's good enough. I had a mentor say to me once, there's some work that should be, honestly, C's are fine, B's are fine. No one's going to notice. And there's some work you have to do an A++ with a cherry on top and a little extra credit. And you got to figure out where it makes sense to actually go all in, like your product, right? I don't want a C- product ever. So that's got to be amazing. But maybe this email sequence that needs to get done that leads to a blog post, yeah, it can be a B- work and no one's going to notice, right? So where is it that you need to let go of perfectionism a little bit because it's slowing you down? If your calendar doesn't reflect your values, then neither does your life. You want to ask yourself, where am I spending my time? Where am I spending my money? When I look at your bank account and when I look at your calendar, what is it telling me about you? Who do you value? What do you value? What is showing up? What are you saying without saying this is important? Because if it's showing up on your calendar, you are saying this is a priority. Your business should support your life, not consume it. I have been very guilty of letting my business be 90% of my life, taking over absolutely everything. There is more to your life than just business. This is my calling. So I am doing more than your typical average person, but I want to have great relationships. I want to be able to play golf and pickleball and work out and take care of myself, spend time with family, go on amazing vacations. And if your business is just completely taking over your life and you can't do any of this stuff, are you truly happy? Like ask yourself, like, am I feeling fulfilled? And if yes, great. And if it feels like there's something missing, there probably is. Number 20, saying I don't have time. All you are saying, just erase that phrase and say it's not a priority. Because if you really understood it was a priority, you would make the time. It is one of my biggest pet peeves when somebody says to me, I don't have time. It's usually somebody who is this much busy compared to me. And they're like, I don't have time to do that. I'm like, really? Because I have no problem squeezing that in. I'm also watching them with bad habits saying I don't have time. Really? Because how much Netflix did you watch this week? How many days did you sleep? Like you watched TV all night, so you slept in and you're missing valuable time you could have been doing that priority. 21, making more money won't fix a poor relationship with money. Your money story is going to magnify as you make more money. If you are a spender, if you spend every dollar you make, guess what? When you're making 10 times as much, you somehow still figure out how to spend as much as you make. If you're super cheap and frugal, 10 years later, 10 times as much money, I still see most people being super cheap and frugal. So you've got to figure out what is my money story and how do I have a healthy money relationship? Because as I scale, I don't want to magnify those problems. You are not bad with money. You're just unpracticed. I believe anyone that is watching or listening can get good with money. All it is putting in the reps. It's just figuring out like, why do I do this? And what is my money story? And why am I spending the way or saving the way that I am? What am I afraid of? Uncovering that and then putting in the reps. You can get good with money, my friend. I promise you. 23, if you don't pay yourself, you don't really own a business. You have a nonprofit, but you're not even getting the tax benefits of a nonprofit. I didn't pay myself for a really, really long time. And I didn't because I felt selfish. I felt like the business needed it more than me. And I felt guilty. Like I was starving my baby, like I needed to give the baby money. But then I was kind of like over take, like, you know, when you've got like the 35-year-old that's still in your basement, that's kind of what I was doing to my business. I was treating it like it was a baby and it's a 35-year-old. And I needed to eventually decide that the business has a responsibility to pay me as the CEO. It does. And if you don't have the CEO making money, getting paid a fair salary, you do not have an actual business. Most people spend more time planning a vacation than their financial future. I think we just wait and say, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. Especially as a business owner, you can invest in mutual funds, which I know nothing about, or I can invest in my business. So I chose my business constantly, right? And I kept putting it off. And I finally got a little bit more serious in my 30s. I wish I would have done it in my 20s. I wish I would have done it right away. So stop planning the next big vacation or the next designer handbag and start looking at your financial future and figuring out, what do I need to do to have true success? 25, budgeting isn't restrictive. It's freedom in disguise. So even as an 8-figure business owner, I am still on a budget, and especially I'm on a budget. Here's why. The more money you make, the more there is to blow, the bigger mistakes you can make. You need to make sure you are constantly staying on a budget. Trust me when I say you will have freedom every single month when you know where your money is going ahead of time. 26, you don't need to make millions to build wealth. You need to manage what you have. It doesn't matter what you make, it's what you spend. It's what's left over. And I have seen people who are millionaires, people that make millions of dollars a year, and they have nothing left to show for it. So don't think it's just about the top line. It's actually about the bottom. Start tracking your net worth. Start tracking every month how much you're worth every month. Because hopefully every month you've saved a little bit more. So your net worth increases. When you start to track that, your net worth is going to go up. Without tracking it, you're going to be spending money, blowing money, and you're not even going to be realizing it's actually shrinking. 27, investing in yourself has the highest return on investment every time. I have spent over $1 million on my education, not including my bachelor's degree in business administration and marketing. $1 million on self-improvement, in business, in building my team, in growing my mindset, learning strategies to help me build a bigger business, hiring coaches to condense time. And I'll tell you this, I have never not made my investment back. I have always found the lesson. Even if I bought a $50,000 program and it was garbage, I've asked myself, what is the $50,000 lesson here? How can I take something away? What can I learn of what not to do? Sometimes I leave these programs and I have this huge list of don't ever treat your customers like that. Know their names, like tell them this, right? Like all of these things. I've learned some really good lessons on what not to do, but it's my obligation to get that return on investment back. I've never gone to a coach or somebody who's taught me something and said, by the way, this program is horrible and it was too much money and I learned nothing. No, it's my responsibility to learn, to find the lesson, to take that away, which is why I continue to get the ROI on every single thing I do. It's a mindset shift. 28, you can't manifest abundance while operating from scarcity. These are two polar opposites, right? Having an abundant mindset is looking at something or someone and knowing, I can have this too. Like this is possible for me as well. When you operate from scarcity, it's like, oh, well, we can't do this because if I do that, then I can't afford this. And if we do this, then you've got all these like negative situations you're putting on in your head. If you're coming from well, I'll have to keep her on because it's really hard to find good people. You're not going to have a successful business when you're constantly in a scarcity mindset. We just let one of our top performers go. Like literally one of the people bringing in more money in the company than anybody in the whole company. And I'll tell you this, part of me wanted to say, are we going to be able to replace her? And then the second part of me went, wait a minute, that's a scarcity mindset. If I knew there was somebody out there better than her, would I make this switch and have it happen? Of course, that's an abundance mindset. And I immediately said, okay, I've got to go the abundance route. 29, a higher income only amplifies your habits, good or bad. So more money, you're going to do the same thing you've already been doing. So really figure out, what are my habits? Are they good? Are they bad? What should I be changing? What do I want to fix? Start to really clean up that mess you've got going on now. So as the higher income starts coming in, you're going to amplify the good habits, not the bad. 30, confidence isn't something you have, it's something you build. Do you know how many people say to me, where do you get your confidence from? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I've been working, I've been building for 23 years. Was I confident 23 years ago? No, but I've been doing so much. I put so much in motion. I take so many daily actions. I fail all the time, but then I try again. And as I learn and as I do and as I move, my confidence builds. So if you don't have the confidence, go start doing it. I was just teaching my kid this. She's in volleyball. She's trying to get her overhand serve. She's not getting it that well. And I said, listen, you just haven't put in the reps. People that you're watching that are just like hitting it over and doing phenomenal, they have more reps than you. So we've got to put in the reps, right? You're not just going to get it. You have to build it. You have to go after it. 31, you don't need to feel ready to begin. Begin and the readiness will follow. Do it scared. Do it anyway. Do it with no confidence. Like just get started. 32, you can't hate yourself into becoming someone you love. There are a lot of things that I've wanted to change. I wish I could change. I'm still working on. You really need to make sure like you're your biggest fan, your biggest cheerleader. You should be at least. And sometimes in my head, I'm not. And I say some really mean things to myself that if I said to you, you wouldn't want to be my friend. Yet I'm doing it to me. And I've really had to learn along the way, like I need to be my biggest fan. I need to be the nicest person to me. And I really have to love what I've done so far and what I've built and who I'm becoming and just who I am and who I was, right? Like knowing that that's a part of this journey. 33, how you speak to yourself determines how you show up for others. When I'm thinking those things to myself, right? When I really am looking at clients and looking at what they're doing, there was a little bit of me that was expecting them to show up in a bigger way or expecting them to show up more. And the more I'm loving myself and being true and kind to myself, the more empathy I have for them. The more I'm like, listen, I know how that feels. I know what you're going through, right? But you've got this. Like you can be resilient. You can use this time to show up, get back, like stand up, brush it off, and let's move on. And that has really helped me for specifically in my coaching and my leading the team. 34, the version of you that got you here is not the version of you that will get you there. I am shedding who I am every 90 days. Why every 90 days? Well, every 90 days, I do a time audit and I look at my calendar and I ask myself, what did today's work or 90 days worth of work, what results did it bring me? And then usually like 9 times out of 10, I'm going, and I want more next quarter. I want to scale next quarter. Well, if that's the version that got me the results I have to be somebody different next quarter. So the version of you that got you here is not the version of you that's going to get you to the next level. If you are not constantly becoming a better version of yourself, you're going to stay with the same results over and over and over again. 35, you don't find yourself. You decide who you are every single day. You can choose to be whoever you want to be. I am very fast. I am somebody who's like trying to always be in control. I always want to say something. I always want to speak my mind. And I was finding myself wanting to speak my mind on something this morning when I was on my morning walk. And I was like, what if I just let it go? What if I like leaned into the Stacy who didn't say anything, who let it go, let the cards kind of fall where they are, and I move on to what I actually want to focus on. That's not like finding myself. That's like deciding I'm going to be her today. I'm going to be her as I evolve, right? So don't think you're like trying to uncover who you really are. You can decide who you really are every single day as you build yourself. 36, self-doubt doesn't disappear with success. You just get better walking through it. I was on a plane going to Vegas with some friends, and they were from friends from like kindergarten and like middle school. And they were talking about maybe starting a business. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's so exciting. Like, you should totally do this. And they're like, I know, but it's so scary. And And I said, well, yeah, but like, I'm scared too. And they're like, you're not scared. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I'm scared every day. Every day I'm doing something that scares me. And they were blown away. As I get more successful, it's not like all of those fears go away. I am going after bigger things I haven't done before. I just get better being scared and going after it and knowing that's just part of the feeling. Don't wait till you aren't scared. It's not going to happen. Like if you're doing something you've never done before, of course you're nervous. Of course there's uncertainty. Do it anyway. 37, and this was a big breakthrough for me. The people you admire the most are not more talented, they're more consistent. When I figured this out, things started to unlock. I can be anybody. I can be whoever I want with whatever results I want, but I have to have the habits and the consistency of people that are already doing that level. And when you realize that's all it is just putting in more reps and being consistent with those reps, you can do whatever your little heart desires. I'm promising you that. So if you're looking at me or you're looking at somebody else and you're thinking like, I'm never going to get to their point. Well, not if you're thinking that way. But if you realize the difference between you and me or you and the person you admire, right, is strictly just they're putting in more reps than you, then put in the reps. Like if you want it, go get it. 38, you can be grateful and still want more. This has been interesting. I love my home. I built my home 10 years ago. I love it. I'm grateful. I walk through it every day and I'm like, it's beautiful. Oh my goodness, look at our views. Look at our front porch. Like it's a beautiful home. And I've been wanting more at the same time. We're now building our dream home here in Wisconsin. Like it's going to be so much better than this house. But even as I'm building it, I'm still like, I love this. Like I'm so happy. I'm so grateful. This is part of our journey. If you're constantly wanting more, but you're not feeling grateful, there's a disconnect. So even when you're up leveling, I'm not like, oh, this house needs to go, or like, oh, I can't even believe we're still here. Like, no. I am still like loving the home we've built. So really try to merge those two. Be grateful and still allow yourself to want more simultaneously. Easier said than done. 39, your future is shaped more by your identity than your goals. Who are you? How do you show up? Are you somebody that wakes up every day and gets right to work out? Are you somebody that meditates, takes their time? What is your identity? Your identity, who you are, who you think you are, is going to do so much more for you than setting a big goal, but not having the identity of the person who achieves that goal. Again, you can change this. You can mold your identity. You can shape your identity into who you want to be. Who do you want to be? What do you want this to look like? What do you want your life to look like? And then from there, that identity is going to change your habits and your behaviors and your actions are going to actually help you hit those goals. 40, your body remembers everything you try to suppress. I hold everything all over. This is one of those things that I'm working on. I haven't worked through it all, but there are things where just I can feel it. I can feel tight. I'm doing massage weekly to just like help me relax. I'm working on meditation, which is not easy. I'm working on certain exercises to truly release stress, trauma, pain, all of that. Your body is telling you what's wrong. I used to think like, oh, I have so much pain up here, and I would blame it on just like a laptop. It's like, no, there's a lot more going on than just me hunched over at a laptop. So your body remembers everything you're trying to remove. You need to actively remove and work on those things. And number 41, and I saved this one for the end. Rest is productive. I have been going for 23 years. The day I graduated high school, I pretty much that summer started my first business, and I have skipped all of the things that most kids did when they graduated high school, right? I went to college, but I worked while I was in college. I didn't go to parties on Fridays and Saturdays. I was working Fridays and Saturdays. I really didn't have a lot of that experience, and I have been working consistently for 23 years, building what I've built. And I have sometimes been in a stage of pushing and just going hard and not taking a break because I don't have time to take a break. I have such big goals. I want to do so much. I want to reach so many small business owners. Like I want to impact so many people. So I wasn't always giving myself time to rest. And I'm telling you, like if you work out, okay, they make you take these breaks in between lifting. And when I first started lifting like maybe 7 years ago, I was like, why are we wasting time? Like, what are we doing spending a minute and a half between these sets? Like, let's go. I'm not even tired. Let's go. Which, by the way, it means I didn't work hard enough because I wasn't tired. Like now I know that when I actually need the minute and a half rest because my heart rate is going so fast and I'm out of breath and I'm exhausted. When you work hard enough, the rest is required. The rest is productive. So when I sit and wait for a minute and 30 seconds before my next set, I'm thinking, all right, I'm about to give it my all. I need to be fully prepared. Take that lesson into business. Take it into your career. If you are just going, and your heart rate is going a million miles a minute, and you just did all of this work, like physical stuff, and now you got to jump back into it, you're just not going to be that good. I will give it my all, and then I will incorporate rest whether that's a vacation or it's Saturday, Sunday. I don't work on the weekends. Saturday mornings are like me days. I am waking up, I'm working out, I'm going in my sauna, I'm then showering, having like a beautiful breakfast, I'm going on a nice long walk, I'm reading a good book, I'm spending time with my family. Like Saturday is just like I do that every weekend. When I clock out at 4 or 5 o'clock every day, I'm resting at night. I need to take a break. When you are working till midnight every night, when you're working 7 days a week, you aren't getting that rest to like get you going. So when I show up to work on a Monday, I'm ready. I'm ready to play full out. I'm ready to give it my all. Some of you are exhausted. You don't even want to wake up on a Monday morning. You are dreading Monday morning. On a Monday morning, I've had 2 days off. I'm ready to go. So rest is productive. It is a necessity. It is not a luxury. So I hope out of all of these, there is 1 or 2 golden nuggets you needed to hear today. I'd love for you to comment below and tell me your biggest one, your biggest takeaway, or maybe a lesson you have learned that we all need to hear and share below. So if you could do that, that would be amazing. I cannot wait to read those. And one of the lessons I actually didn't share, which I'm going to sneak in like a 42, can we call it? Never do this alone. Like business is so much more fun. Building is so much more fun with a community. And if you are still doing it alone, if you don't have somebody to talk to share with, any of that, I want to invite you to come on one of my free trainings with a few hundred, 500 of your closest friends who are building businesses together. I do a training called Protect Your Profit. You can comment the word scale below. I'll get you the link to register. It's completely free. We hang out as amazing 6, 7, 8-figure business owners who are just shooting for big dreams, who want more, who want to do it all. But at the same time, we don't want to give up our lives just to build these businesses. So if you want more, comment scale below, and I can't wait to see you there.